on, y'all? I'm coming at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to go over the exact meal that I cooked for 10 weeks leading up to the San Francisco Marathon. The meal that I cooked the night before and that I would test every night before my long run. And if you watch any of my other running videos, and you know anytime I talked about my nutrition, I would test out my race nutrition on my long runs, not only for the nutrients, the gels, salts, and hydration that I would intake during my long runs that would simulate into my marathon, but also my nutrition leading up to the long runs. Because again, not just nutrition during, but the couple days leading up to it, you need to be on point. For me at least, it paid off. This meal, I would cook it the night before all my long runs. And not only is it super nutrient dense, it tastes really, really, really good. The meal is going to be grass-fed ribeye, cook it about medium rare, coupled with organic sweet potatoes and organic jasmine rice. So a good amount of carbs, good sodium. We're gonna use all the proper ingredients for it, and I'll break it all down throughout the video and how we cook it. So you'll be cooking it along with me. I'm actually gonna be cooking a little extra for my brother Chuck, who's gonna be having some with me as well. And again, that grass-fed ribeye. It takes about like 30 minutes to cook, easy to cook. And again, this meal checks off all the boxes for me when it comes into performing properly. It gives me the ample amount of protein for my muscles to recover, but also the energy to execute the training the following day. Gives me enough carbohydrates. This meal gives me the ample amount of protein, mainly the grass-fed ribeye. The grass-fed ribeye helps my muscles recover from my previous training, but also gives me enough energy to execute the training coming up. The carbohydrates, I know carbs get a bad rap in the nutrient world, but these clean carbohydrates from the organic sweet potatoes, no preservatives in them because they are organic, but gives me the proper amount of carbohydrates that gives me just enough energy to execute these long runs. Organic rice, I know a lot of people like to battle between the white rice and the brown rice. I like jasmine rice. I'm Filipino, I grew up on white rice, but again, we got organic jasmine rice. A little cleaner, gives us enough carbohydrates, gives us that good amount of energy we need. I think the biggest fear when it comes into people running these races is bonking out and not having enough energy to finish, or not having enough energy where they need to start to walk or take their pace down. I know that's one of my fears as well, and something that I've experienced in my first few marathons. Not only does your training take an effect into this and to not bonking out, but your nutrition is a huge, huge key factor to that, and something that I think is looked over and neglected in the running community. What you are eating leading up to your marathons and long runs, what you're eating during your marathons and long runs. Let's make this meal. So again, like I said, it's actually really easy to make. It takes about 30 minutes, and this is probably the longest part, is getting the potatoes starting to boil. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab some water and start boiling it. So as the water starts to boil, we'll get everything lined up, get everything set up. You know me, I love preparation. I'm OCD, so I'm gonna line up all the ingredients right now. We got our ribeyes here. I'm getting them room temperature, so I like to pull them out of the fridge for about 30 minutes before they actually go onto the pan. So they've been sitting out for 30 minutes. Dope. Grass-fed butter, thyme, sour cream, Trader Joe's organic jasmine rice. Super easy to make. I know I'm from the Philippines and we usually use a rice cooker, but convenience today. And then Trader Joe's organic sweet potatoes. Let's go. I'll probably do 2 potatoes. Pink Himalayan salt. A little bit of pepper. So just to recap, I have my grass-fed ribeye, and to season the ribeye, we got pink Himalayan salt, a little bit of pepper, and then we'll cook it in some thyme and some grass-fed butter. Organic sweet potatoes, and we'll put a little grass-fed butter on those with some organic sour cream, organic jasmine rice, waiting for the water to boil, and the final touch. This is not an ad, but I believe, look, I'm a very novice cook. Like I cook good, but not very much, just the things that I like. Even at that, I still had to get the Gordon Ramsay endorsed hex-clad pans. Look at that, look at that. Not an ad, highly recommend, 10 out of 10. So again, step 1, get your water boiling. Step 2, weigh out all your ingredients. Step 3, sweet potatoes next. So as the water is boiling, I'm actually just gonna rinse these potatoes. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rinse the potatoes. I'm going to cut one line around the potato because that helps it boil a little better, gets the potato a little softer. I love steak in general. So the whole carnivore thing has been getting hyped, so I've been really going into more of the red meat, which I've been eating red meat all my life, but integrating more healthy carbs with it since I started doing these endurance runs. Normally when I was boxing, I could do a lot of the training fasted, and it's hard to kind of gauge and measure boxing because you're not going up, okay, how many punches did I throw that round? Or because everything is so different. There's so many variables into it. With running, you can measure your data off of your pace, how fast you're running, how many miles. The data is concrete and it's really easy to measure. And I noticed my nutrition had a direct correlation into those measurables. So I started doing a deeper dive into what I was putting into my body, especially leading up to these big runs, these big workouts. 15 minutes in to the boil on the sweet potatoes, we'll start to heat up the pan and start to season the ribeyes. So again, the ribeyes have been sitting out for about 30 minutes outside of the fridge for the room temp, and we'll use just pink Himalayan salt to season on both sides. I won't season with the pepper right now because the pepper, I actually learned this, the pepper burns a little faster, so I'll season it with the pepper at the very end. So those will cook about 3.5–4 minutes on each side. Start my timer, boom. 4 minutes in, we're gonna flip the steak. Theo's throwing a tantrum. And actually, I'm gonna turn down the heat just a little bit. Half a stick of butter, keep it right there. And I turn it down so the butter doesn't burn in a little bit of time. Then I'll baste it. Sweet potatoes are done. We're gonna get them all prepped while the steaks rest. Low sour cream, grass-fed butter, organic of course. Little dash of salt and pepper. And again, we'll hook the steaks up as well. And boom, oh, forgot about the rice. All right, let's grub. All right, organic sweet potatoes, organic jasmine rice, grass-fed ribeye. Eat this, hit a big workout tomorrow. Let me know what you think about the meal. Super easy to cook, especially on my dads out there who are short on time and don't have very good cooking skills. 30 minutes and you should be good to go. Healthy, fuels you up. Until next time, y'all.